All right, friends, it's our final night of stories. If you want me to read more bedtime stories, either chapter books or other stories, let me know in the comments below and I'll keep doing them. My stuffed animal for tonight is this cute guy. I hope you have some cozy things around you. So, Junie B is still looking for a pet for pet day at her school. Let's see what happens at the end of this book. Chapter 8, A Surprise in the Freezer. I cried on my bed for a real long time. Pet day is ruined. It's ruined, ruined, ruined. Grandpa Miller looked all over the house for pictures of Tickle. He taped some on cardboard and brought them to my room. Look, he said, this doesn't look too bad, does it? I raised my sagging head off the pillow. Then I looked at the pictures and I patted him real gentle. You did your best, old man, I said. Grandpa Miller rolled his eyes up at the ceiling. I looked there too, but I didn't see anything. After that, I got out of bed and I dressed myself for school and I walked to the kitchen, very slumping. Grandpa Miller made me a turkey sandwich. What do you want to drink? He asked. I did a sad sigh. Orange juice, please, I said. Grandpa Miller opened the refrigerator. Orange juice. I don't see any orange juice, he said. I went over and helped him look. We couldn't find the orange juice anywhere, not even in the freezer. Just then, my grandpa moved the frozen vegetables. And guess what? My heart almost stopped breathing because I couldn't believe my eyeballs, that's why. Grandpa Miller! Grandpa Miller, do you see what I see? Do ya? Huh? Do ya? Grandpa Miller looked closer. Well, I don't see any orange juice, that's for sure, he said. I danced all around the room. No, Grandpa, not orange juice, a pet. I see a pet for pet day. See it, Grandpa? See it? See it? Then I clapped my hands real joyful and I skipped to the freezer and I grabbed it right off the shelf. And now, chapter 9, my proudest honor. Pet day in room 9 was very exciting. There were cages with furry animals and bowls with fish, plus also there was a snake and a hermit crab and a rooster. That rooster is mine, said that meanie Jim. He will peck your head off if I tell him to. He will peck it right into a nub. I made a sick face, because a nub does not sound pleasant. Just then Lucille skipped over to me. Look, Junie B, look at my darling riding outfit. See my darling riding hat and my darling riding pants. And look at Junie B, here's a picture of my darling pony and my darling riding boots. They are genuine rawhide cowhide. I smiled, very admiring. You are a beaut, Lucille, I said. Gracie pulled on my arm. Junie B, come see Slicky. He's my goldfish, remember? I bought him a brand new bowl. Come see, come see. Just then, my teacher clapped her hands together. Boys and girls, everyone needs to sit right down. We have an exciting day. We hurried up and sat. Mrs. pointed to the pet table in the back of the room. Who would like to go first, she asked. Who would like to introduce us to their pet? Me, I shouted. Me. Then I sprung right out of my seat. But Mrs. said, sit down. And she called on William, because that guy never springs up, that's why. William went to the pet table. He pointed to his bullfrog named Wendell. I just got him on Saturday, William said, very shy. Mrs. smiled. Well, he certainly is handsome, she said. Would you like to take Wendell out of his tank for us, William? Would you like to show the children how to hold a bullfrog? Then William's face got whitish and sickish, and he started sweating a real lot. That's how come Mrs. had to put a wet towel on his head. And she said he did not have to hold Wendell if he doesn't want to. Charlotte went next. She showed us her bunny named Slippers. She carried him all around the room, and she let us pet his head. Slippers smelled like stinky feet. After Charlotte came Polly and Puffer. He showed us his parrot named Pirate Pete. Only too bad for Pirate Pete, because he kept on saying a bad word, and he wouldn't stop. And so Mrs. had to send Pirate Pete to the office. After that, lots of children showed pictures of their cats and dogs. Plus, Jamal Hall showed us his lizard named Gizzard. And a boy named Ham showed us his hamster named Elvis. Finally, I raised my hand real calm. It's nice to see you being so polite, Junie B. Would you like to go next? Mrs. asked. Did you bring a picture of your dog? I shook my head. No, I said, because I didn't want to bring a picture, remember? I wanted to bring a real, actual pet. Only too bad for me, because Mother said no to the raccoon, and then my Grandma Helen Miller stole Sparkle, plus I lost my noodle, and then we couldn't find the orange juice. And that's how come my grandpa moved the frozen vegetables, and boom, I saw a pet in there, in the freezer. So I put him in my backpack, and here he is now. After that, I quick unzipped my zipper pocket and held up my pet for everyone to see. Fish Stick, I said, real delighted. I named him Fish Stick. Because he's a fish stick, of course. Room 9 stared and stared. Then all of a sudden, everyone laughed at once. You goony bird, yelled that meanie Jim. Fish sticks aren't pets. Fish sticks are dinner. I felt very shrinking inside. But fish sticks have to be pets, right? Right, missus? I asked. Because fish sticks are fish, aren't they? And fish are pets, right? Mrs. was hiding behind her hands. She peeked at me between her fingers. Yeah, sure. Of course fish are pets, she said. I felt a teeny bit better. So then fish sticks could be pets too, right? I said. Mrs. hid a little while longer. Then finally she took a big breath and she got up from her desk. Well, let's see. Maybe we should see what the dictionary has to say about this, she said. After that, she took out her dictionary and she looked up the word pet. She read us what it says. Pet, she said, any tamed animal that is kept as a companion. Okay, she said. Now that we have the definition, let's see if fish stick fits the bill. She looked at me. Junie B, is fish stick tame or is he wild? Tame, I said. Fish stick is very, very tame. He won't peck your head into a nub. Okay, good, said Mrs. And would you say that fish stick is a good companion, Junie B? Can you take him lots of places? And does he behave himself pretty well? Yes, I said. Fish stick can even go in more places than my dog, probably, because I can put fish stick right into my backpack, and he doesn't even say a peep. Mrs. smiled really happy. Then she walked to my table, and she shook my hand. Well, then, congratulations, she said. According to the dictionary, fish stick is definitely a pet. After that, she took fish stick out of my hand, and she carried him to the pet table. And guess what? She put him right next to Slicky. Grace, hey Grace, now our fishes can be friends just like us, I said. Just then I heard a croaking noise. It came from Wendell the bullfrog, I think. Then Wendell croaked even louder, and that made Slicky the goldfish jump in his water, and that made the rooster cock-a-doodle-doo, and that made Slippers thump his loud foot. And then the cage door accidentally came open, and he hopped right off the table. Oh no, yelled Room 9, oh no, oh no. Then all of us chased Slippers all over the place, and he hopped and hopped until Mrs. caught him in the trash can. It was the most exciting adventure Room 9 had ever had. And that's not even the best part of the day, because at the end of school, Mrs. gave out special ribbons to all the pets. The rooster got the screechiest. Pirate Pete got the talkiest. Slicky got the bubbliest. Slippers got the most rascally rabbit. And Fish Stick got the most well-behaved. I did a gasp at the wonderful thing. Then I shook Mrs. hand. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, because this is the proudest honor I ever imagined. Mrs. laughed. She said me and Fish Stick made her day, and she gave me a hug. And that is called a perfect ending. That's the end of our story. Remember, if you want more, let me know, and I'll keep reading you some bedtime stories. Good night, my friends. Mwah.